Well, Sawadee Cup everyone, and sorry for the botched pronunciation of hello, ways of saying hello in Thailand. We're here in Buriram for round 5 of the Formula Hololive Japan season, and what you can say is a pretty sunny day here in Buriram. 12 p.m. is about to beckon here in the Buriram province here at the Buriram International Circuit. 4.5 kilometers of racing is due to take part here. 12 corners in total, as you can see here, for a total of 55 laps over around 250 kilometers. And for target lap time here, we should be looking at a 1:19.936. Obviously, from a track that could host F1, and well, it has hosted MotoGP as well, this could provide very good racing for these single-seater cars. As a postseason round, it's a change of format from the knockouts, where we now can put 35 cars in one race to see who will be the king of the postseason races. And also want to mention that it's a former CBGT track, so this track is very acquainted with fast cars, with a lot of these long straights and fast corners and all that stuff. We're going to be in for a great race here today. Speaking of the points format here, here's a new ARO postseason points format here. We have now expanded the points to 30 cars. Well, the first 30 cars have finished. Well, not exactly. For the first 30 cars classified, we'll be awarding them points, and we have now doubled the points for the winner. So for 30th place, they can only get 1 point, and for the winner, they can get 400. So now we're gonna need to skip over into the overall standings quick. So if you are watching this stream, you can just pause the stream just a bit for you to properly sink into the points format. So yeah. Anyways, let's take a look into the overall standings here. We are going to need to mention to you all about the new driver swaps that we have taken place. For example, we have Mohamed Cashew now taking over Daniel Bowers' Yozo Ramel as a part-time effort until a new full-time driver comes, which will be the case for a lot of these drivers unless explicitly and specifically stated. Now we have Hanari Miyuki, another Malaysian, taking over Zach Champagne as she takes over the Kanata car part-time. Same goes for Keiko Takaboshi in the Shiranui Flare car, taking over Wallace Harto. Takeda Adachi is going to need to warm himself up for the Formula Hololive International season, which is to come next month. He will represent Lapis Darkness as a part-timer before he would eventually find a replacement. And same goes for Anita Perez, driver of the Hakos Bales car, now drives for Sakura Miko in the Formula Hololive Japan as a part-timer. She will race both, as does some of the other drivers. And then we have Ethan Burtonson in the Nakiri Ayame car, replacing Jeff Clark, obviously also as a part-timer. Now Jeff Rohan is one of the few exceptions. He will be driving the Tokoyami Toa car full-time, taking over from Daniel Bolate. Same goes for Kizaru Leo, taking over from Monica Shalage, representing Murasaki Shion. Aziz Moazir takes over from Richie Rod in the Shirakami Fubuki ride. Same goes for Irene Nakamura in the Akai Hato card. Now for the Fubuki and Hato representatives, they will for Moazir, he will be part-time, but Nakamura, she will be going for full-time. And for Putri Farah Kamal, it's nice to see Farah Kamal back in the Lamy car. 5 wins in the last 12 races she has entered in Hololive GT3 Japan, cements herself as one of the greatest drivers to grace the ARO stage, and now she has a new challenge driving Formula Hololive cars, representing Yukiana Lamy. And then we also have Aaron Mazzi, who's looking very energetic to represent Watami, despite running part-time. He might be having a chance to run full-time if someone is interested in the Iris car. And for Kento Kai, it's also a full-time change as he accepts the offer to take over the Akira Rosenthal car from Vladislav Damashnev, who have seen his highs winning the Split B Championship in Hololive GT3. Dan Evans takes over the Takani Loi car part-time until a replacement driver has been found. But for Ed Sky, he drives the Kazama Iroha car full-time from Hector Bembe. And of course, we have the overall standings here. Now, the overall standings is to, basically counting out all the 8 rounds in Formula Hololive Japan. But there will also be a knockout stage. There will also be postseason standings for those who will be participating. There will be postseason standings for just the. How do we say this? For just the final 4 rounds of the season. So there will be 2 championships for them to face. There's the overall standings and the knockout standings. So watch out for that one as well. As we're about to start this qualifying session, hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Shazin Reza in the commentary booth. And alongside me here is the driver for Akami Mio, Zeke Wimberly. So Zeke, we got this qualifying session underway. New format, returning track, and 35 cars. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is thankfully everything isn't breaking now that we have a RAM upgrade and everything, but more importantly, this is the first round of the postseason, and as we know, some people can really ramp up their performance and sometimes even downgrade a little bit within the postseason. So we are expecting a little bit of mix-ups to happen within the mix.
So, just a bit of an update as well. We just wanted to showcase to you some few newcomers into the field, especially for those full-timers. Jeff Rohan now takes over from Daniel Bulatev for Tokoyami Toa, which is a nice sight to see. Now, we haven't had a proper Kenzoku since Daniel Bolatev, and obviously Jeff Rohan is able to fill in the shoes. Hopefully, Jeff Rohan can turn this season around for Tokoyami Toa, because the Toa rides in both the Hololive GT3 and ARO have been second best.
Sorry. Okay, hold on. I wasn't paying attention. Got freaking pinged.
Okay, so anyways, just wanted to remind you all that the Toa car have had bottom 5, is currently bottom 5 in the point standings for both Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3. So Jeff Rohan, new driver, let's just hope that he can basically take over from here. I just wanted to check if you can hear me.
You were having a little bit of a connection problem, but
okay.
Back in, thankfully.
Okay, so apologies for the slight internet issues. So we're just gonna go on board a card. We're gonna go on board Crystal Salaman in the number 12 ASCII ride for a lap here in Buriram. So coming on to the main straight here, heading into turn 1 here. It's pretty much of a short dash compared to the next straight here in turn 2. And here you can see, here you can enjoy this very long, should be a kilometer long straight. And then here's this kink in turn 2, and of course, as we say that Salaman is about to deal with lap cars, so that's not gonna do him any favors. This is the hairpin in turn 3. Again, another good exit here in turn 3 allows you to easily gain a lot of time coming into turn 4. But I fear that he might not gain as much time because there's gonna be a lot of lap traffic. As you can see here, Salaman is thinking of a move against Dan Evans in that number 61 Takani Loi car, but he has to think second best. He has to think better off. And then coming into the tight section here, turn 6, and then into the right hander of turn 7, double apex. And then coming into the last brake marker, coming into turn 8. And then coming into turn 9, long right hander. And then a sweeping section here, turns 10. And the penultimate corner here in the lap 11. Short dash into the pit entry and into the final corner. He's gonna be really held up here. As you can see here, Alcer and Tanarao already setting up the fastest lap of the session so far. He's currently in provisional pole.
So yeah, as I saw that Fumi, at least right now, seems to be making a resurgence after finally getting off of that severe hangover they got after winning the 2022 Holo GP3 Split A, I believe.
Well, the story goes for Hofumi is that he has been pretty good for that Tokyo Sora ride. Now, the Sora ride in Hololive GT3 has been an amazing ride because he has gathered 5 wins across the 2022 season, which is jointly tied for most between 2 cars, the Lamy car and the Luna car. And for Hofumi, he did win 3 races for Tokyo Sora after replacing Gabriel Ariadne, but that doesn't matter because in the postseason, he did manage to string a 2-win race of 4 races. So Fumi, speaking of which, speak of the devil, he is currently on provisional pole. So Fumi is now practically getting his campaign well, and now he's absolutely taking off. Currently he's 29th in the overall standings, and he's currently starting on a clean slate in the postseason. Let's see if he can really shake the field here in this postseason.
It seems the Fumi patch notes have finally dropped and they fixed the bug and everything. So yeah, Fumi, it seems, at least for right now, they're gonna have a decent postseason, or at least alright postseason.
So anyways, looking into some standings updates here, Kaczynski now jumps up to 10th place. Sheldon Reza is still stuck behind lap cars, and now he's stuck behind his fellow Malaysian compatriot Hanari Miyuki. But anyways, we're just gonna go to a slight intermission here to just adjust things. So anyways, another driver that we can probably be excited for. Look at this driver. It's Daniel Barger representing Hoshimachi Suisei. Now Suisei has been very excited to run bright uniform, like the bright idle uniforms. Like when given a choice, if she wants to run the original idle uniform seen during Non-Stop Story onwards, and with the new bright idle uniforms in our bright parade, I believe Swiss is going to take the bright uniforms over the original uniforms night and day. And with that, the performance here is definitely telling, as Daniel Barger currently is still on the fringes of title contention, this time in Formula Hololive.
And if you want to see your favorite idol perform, you should buy a blue journey ticket, and that is on the QR code below. Please buy it. I should also state that we're not being officially endorsed by Hololive, but you should buy it anyway because you're cool and awesome.
Yeah, just also want to remind them, everyone, 23 members are set to participate in this Blue Journey live at the Tokyo Garden Theater. So obviously, if you are living in Japan, you can buy the on-site tickets. Hopefully, it's not sold out just yet. So if you want to buy some tickets, you gotta do it quick. And but don't worry, if you cannot attend this performance live, there's always the chance for live streaming. And thank goodness they have opened up alternate streaming options. After the chaos that was the Sunshine Live of the Splash Party, we have now seen a fix. Now, instead of just Zan, we're now allowing for Spawn streaming options to now be included as well. So if you want to have some streaming options and you want to be flexible about it, there you have it.
Unfortunately, I was too broke to afford a ticket or anything, or too lazy to attend any free days if they had any. So I don't know what Added is talking about, but yeah, fixed everything. Very cool patch notes came in.
Oh yeah, speaking of patch notes here, look at some of the rookies here that just come into the series, driving the Formula Hololive Japan cars for the first time. Aziz Muazif is representing Fubuki very well. And speaking of performers, look at Anita Perez representing Sakuramiko, 118.9, just a whisker behind Fumi. That just shows you how much of these drivers have basically adjusted to these new cars. Now, Perez has been okay in the Bales car, but in the Miko car, Perez is able to hang on, just a bit of a thing. Hang on.
Yeah, your mic is fighting for its life right now.
Okay, we're gonna pause it. We're gonna pause the stream. Just wanted to check mic. Are we good?
No, we are not good.
Okay, so we're just gonna need to change the Wi-Fi just a bit because apparently we swap over to 2.4 and there's no option for 5, and I do not have the hang on, excuse me. We don't. Okay, apologies to everyone. There has been some recent internet mishaps, so we're just gonna try to resume the stream from here. So, anyways, back into what we're gonna talk about here. Perez is currently surprising a good amount of people. Obviously, Perez hasn't been doing very well in the Bales car, and neither did Isakaji Mikolev in the Miko car. And to see Perez currently battling for the front row is currently a nice sight to see, as well as looking at drivers like Muhammad Cashew, Irene Nakamura, and Aziz Muazif, who are currently driving these Formula Hololive cars competitively for the first time.
And they're doing pretty good, each having, like you said, a very strong start so far. Who is that? Salmon Man, coming out of basically the middle of nowhere. I don't know where he even was. I think like the lower 26. Coming out of nowhere to snag 9th place from Nakamura.
So obviously, a lot of surprising faces here into the top of the standings here, as we're currently in the second half of this qualifying session. Shazid Reza is looking to be very rapid here. Second sector, 49.004. He is definitely in contention for at least the top spots. As you can see here, Gibbons is now down to 6. Goyena is nowhere to be seen, as Goyena is currently down into the bottom places, 27 and below. So looking at the championship standings overall, there's going to be a massive shakeup.
Yeah, like I said, at the beginning of the stream, there's gonna be some mix-ups as some drivers do unusually well for the postseason for the misfortune of their actual like racing. It's like flexing on everyone that you can do good sometimes, only when it doesn't matter.
Okay, and just a bit of a double check here as well. We now have Ethan Brotherson improving in for Nakiri IMA, but it's not enough for him to jump inside the top 10. Farah Kamal is currently down in 29, but who knows, there could be a lot of surprises at the start of this race. Shazin Reza's younger brother Shakif in title contention last round, now currently sits almost in the bottom 5, so he needs to probably pick up the pace. Now looking at Fabio Mendes, he has won the last split A race of the season for Hakui Koiri, and now he's down in 31st. Jeff Rohan is looking to try to get himself back up into contention in 32nd. Dan Evans also trying to get the Takanori Lloyd car into the front, or at least in the middle for himself. Michael Turner down in 34th, and Ed Sky just down in 35th, 121.524, almost 3 seconds behind.
We are having some rags to riches stories though, as I have noticed Sean, Pauly, and Farah Kama just shoot up the position, shoot up the leaderboard and everything. So there is still hope for these drivers that down in trenches of like 30 through 35th.
Oh, and just a bit of a double check here because we have apparently had the wrong timing tower. But don't worry, that's mostly just how do we say this? Cosmetic. So we can just adjust it back to the usual. So anyways, back into this current session here. We now have Sean Pauly leading not exactly leading, he's currently just in 13th place. But as you can see here, Shadin Reza jumped inside the front row with only a how do we say this? Thousandths of a second of a lap time slower than Ho Fu Mi. Now obviously we have the reigning champion of Holo GT3 in 2022 versus probably one of the best drivers in the ARO. But we're going to be seeing a Goliath versus Goliath battle coming into this race.
Goliath meet David. Anita Perez, me personally, I think they have a chance still. They're in 3rd place. They're not even like a 10th of a second away from 1st place. Oh, who's that? I'm gonna butcher this. Kuzuharo Leo has just jumped up to 7th place. But back to my story. I believe Perez does have a chance. Not even like a 10th of a second away. They definitely have the pace to make it up to the front lines eventually, even if that does happen in the main race or in the qualifying itself.
Kizora Leo currently crossing over to the 1st sector timing beam, only 300ths of a second. You can see here, he's been gaining a lot of time and a lot of free air and a lot of speed potential for this Xi'an car, for this Xi'an driver. Now, if you want to talk about one of the most loyal drivers in the ARO in the Hololive GT3, I believe there's only 3 seats left that have been unchanged since the start of the 2022 season. And that's the Himamori Luna car, the Yuzuki Choco car, and the Murasaki Xi'an car. And obviously we have the Stalwart 3 currently, well, 2 of the Stalwart 3 currently inside the top 10 with Kaczynski down in 24. Kizuhara Leo has been very excited to return to represent Murasaki Xi'an, and now Kizuhara Leo is about to complete his lap. He has a pretty decent 2nd sector. Let's see if he can upset the top 6.
There is potential, and he jumps up to 4th place, not out of nowhere, jumping a solid 3 positions for Leo. That is definitely a solid time to have. Not necessarily an upset though, but something to write home about. And something that might be an upset is Nakamura kind of jumping up. I forgot where. Okay, there is a lot of people jumping up. Johan Simple jumping up to 9 out of like somewhere around 18th. I don't know.
Sinful making a massive jump here as the track really ramps up come the end of this qualifying session. Fumi has improved actually, and so he is absolutely racing away against Shadrin Reza. So it looks like pole position it looks to be confirmed. As you can see here, Shadrin Reza is stuck behind Callum Gibbons, who is currently in who's currently qualified 8th. So obviously, Gibbons is probably playing the team game to keep Fumi in pole position. Southern Reza's not going to be very happy about it, and Hofumi is going to be laughing himself all the way to pole position.
Yeah, and as the finishing lap approaches, and by approaches I mean it's around now, okay, the finishing lap has approached. Everyone's going to finish up their qualifying. I don't think there's going to be any significant changes happening on this final lap, but we'll have to wait and see.
We're looking into the final drivers that are going to complete this lap here in Buriram. Remember, it's the Buriram Super Prix here on this stream, round 5 of the Formula Hololive Japan season. And as you can see here, you can see Johan Sinfo with a late session scare of now bumps Gibbons down to 9th. Sinfo now jumps up to 8th, and now you can see here the session properly coming to a close. And you can see here a bit of a change in position here for some of the Mazzy, currently 21st, bringing the Watame car up to snuff. So we're just gonna move up into intermission here, because that is basically the end of this qualifying session. But not before we need to check if there are any more drivers who will be finishing up their qualifying lap. And that should be it. With Michael Turner and all the other drivers finishing their laps and no improvements, we're just gonna go into intermission. So as we're finishing up this qualifying session to start this Buriram Super Prix race, 250 kilometers of racing, Z, I want to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts is that it's gonna be a three-way power struggle between Anita Perez and Machars and Reza. You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I can hear you kind of groaning around there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an inappropriate time for some of the outside news to happen, but anyways, I thank you, Z, for pointing out that there's going to be a three-way battle between Fumi, Shazan Reza, and Perez. Now, we should not be counting out Daniel Barger into the mix. So anyways, let's take a look into the starting lineup here for the Buriram Super Prix race here in Buriram. It's Hofumi who currently sits in pole position for Tokino Sora. Obviously, it's his first pole position after a hangover first half of the season, with Wawasha Reza trying to rectify the damage done of his previous race. He crashed out at the start. After multiple restart attempts, he just couldn't get his car into a straight line. So a bit of a shame for Shadid Reza in second place right now, as he tries to undo the damage done last round. Anita Perez, first race for Sakaramiko, she'll start third. And then we have Kazuhiro Relio, fourth place for Murasaki Shion. It's so good to be back representing the Brat. And Daniel Barger, as polished as ever, starts fifth for Hoshimachi Suisei. Alessandro Antero is going to be starting sixth for Nekomata Akayu, with Kento Kai seventh place for Aki Rosenthal in his first race for Aki Rosenthal. Johan Sinfo starts 8th for Natsuhiro Matsuri, with Callan Gibbons in 9th. We have, you can see here, Sinfo actually did bump Gibbons down a bit in the final stages of qualifying, with Mama Cashew running out the top 10. First race for Yozora Mel since 2022. He's going to be very excited. Sean Pauli racing for Inagami Korone in 11th place. Let's see if he can ace a good result here. With Aziz Mwazu currently sitting in 12th and Irie Nakamura 13th. We're going to be seeing a good amount of Gen 1 action. Kusosama Man 14th for ASCII, with Ethan Broderson, a part-time driver, in 15th for Nakiri Ayame. Pochi Farakama will start 16th for Yukihana Lamy, with Hanari Miyuki starting 17th for Kanata. Sequin Moli starts 18th for Okami Mio. Raymond Olgor and Keiko Takaboshi starts 19th and 20th. Then for them in Buriram for the Subaru and Watame cars. Flare cars. And Aramasi starts 21st for Tsunamaki Watame. And then we have Sean Gola representing Minato Aqua. He'll start 22nd, with Lorenzo Ricci 23rd. Most recent Formula Hololive winner to date, he will start 23rd for Hosho Marine. Michael Turner starts 24th for Shiragani Knoll. And then with Takeda Adachi basically seat warming himself for a Ninomai Nanis ride later on, he'll start 25th. Raji Kaczynski starts 26th for Yuzuki Choko, with Daniel Goyena 27th for Usada Pecora. Kaminari Riba starts 28th for Marapolka. Ryu will start 29th for Sakamata Chloe. Maverick DuCM starts 30th for Shishiro Botan after a very good podium run. It's going to be a challenge for DuCM to get into the top 10. Fabian Mendes 31st for Hakui Korori. And then Evans starts 32nd for Takani Lui. Shaki Reza starts 33rd for Moses Unene. For another full-time driver in Jeff Rohan will start 34 for Takayami Toa. Not the best start, but it's a start. And Ed Sky will start last in 35th. And with another pretty okay showing. Let's see if he can have a last to first run for the Kazami Roha driver. So, we're just gonna go into the intermission. We're just gonna go into basically the start of this race. Hopefully we're not gonna be seeing some lags as we did last year. And so here we go. Okay. We're here in the Buriram circuit here for the Buriram Super Prix. It's Fumi on pole position. Shadowed Reza alongside him in second. It's the Buriram Super Prix, and we are go. And as you can see here, Fumi having a very cool start here. Now really edging ahead of Sheldon Reza. Now look at Anita Perez actually beating Sheldon Reza, but not before Sheldon Reza is able to close down the door. As Sheldon Reza defends third place, you can see here Bargain and Leo going side by side for fourth place. And you can see here more battles here at the moment. And you can see here Perez, baby versus baby, into turn 3. Perez dive ball Sheldon Reza into turn 3 as they're still side by side. Fumi Lee Shazrin. Perez is in 3rd, Leo 4, Barger 5th, Antanarao 6, Kai is in 7th, Gibbons 8, Sinful 9, and Cashew is in the top 10.
Okay, there is a lot going on, especially within the second and third rank, as positions are shuffling left and right at the moment. It's quite a bit, and Fumi is just kind of gaining on all of this play right now, really trying to widen that gap as soon as possible to make sure they have a smooth running within this 55 lap race.
And as you can see here, there has been a lot of shuffling in the field. You can see here more side-by-side battles. Here is Miyuki versus Goliath. Two Malaysians battling it out. Coming into turn 10 and turn 11, Sean Goliath has the inside line at 11 and 12. He looks to have the advantage over Miyuki as he drops the Kanata driver in 19th place. And as you can see here, it takes a lot of curve there, multiple drivers as they try to navigate turn 12. But for now, no issues for the rest of the drivers here. And you can see here, going into the back of the field, Duciam currently in 26. And you can see here, Ri Liu jumping up a lot of positions there. He was inside the bottom 5. He's now in 27th.
Yeah, there are a couple of rag to riches stories going on in the back ranks right now, but for the most part all the action is happening around mid-rank to front rank, especially with the baby versus baby content going on back then, but that seems to have settled down quite a little bit.
As you can see here, 3 wide, and there was contact between Fabio Mendes and Jeff Rohan. And as you can see here, Fabio Mendes is currently coming out as a winner, and there is a lot of jostling for position. There's Dan Evans at Sky, and then we have Shaki Reza, and then we have confirmation that Keiko Takaboshi has had a DNF because she has made contact with someone and basically crashed out. So we have our first retirement on this race. Keiko Takaboshi's start in Formula Hololive Japan has not come to a plan for Sharonui Flair, the L Friends, or Takaboshi. First retirement of this race.
Alright, you're kind of lagging a little bit, but more importantly, however, it is for a debut that wasn't the best debut. But we'll probably look into that more at the end to see what truly went on going through that. And it seems that 35 cars might have been a little bit too much on this track.
Might be a bit too much, but I think we're still pretty good there if we were looking into the RAM situation here. RAM isn't really at max at the moment. It's currently 81%. So obviously it's mostly just down to graphics. But anyway, Sinful versus Cashew side by side here. 2 orange cars on the battle. Same goes for Callan Gibbons and Kento Kai. And as you can see here, you can see here Barger trying to look for a move against Kizuhara Leo as Barger is sniffing for an opportunity inside the top 4.
I'm seeing some sparks fly right now a little bit, just showing how intense these drivers are racing right now, really trying to avoid contact, but some of that is just truly unavoidable, just inevitable. We are going to have a couple crashes tonight, and one has already happened, as you know, with the Shiranui Flare car, and there's more to come.
I just wanted to give you a bit of an update here. Fumi is still controlling this race, now having a gap of 1.5 seconds over his nearest competitor, Shazrin Reza, who currently has the fastest lap of the race, 1:18.426. The Tokino Sora car looks to be back, but only if Fumi can survive the next 50 laps. As you can see here, Fumi is doing just as that.
And Fumi, I believe, is going at a pace where I don't think lap traffic will happen unless something very substantial happens at the back ranks. And I'm like 80% sure that won't happen in this race. So I think Fumi has smooth sailing as long as they keep their race pace up.
Callan Gibbons again makes the move on Kento Kai. As you can see here, Gibbons is currently on the outside line coming into turn 4. Let's see if Kai can have a pretty solid defense. They're still side by side. Oh, a lot of sparks flying as you've mentioned here. And now Kento Kai is looking for an opportunity against Antana Rao. And as you can see here, the gaps have been closing between the two drivers behind Antana Rao and Antana Rao. And as you can see here, it's still pretty smooth sailing here, but look at this. It's now looking at a case of Gibbons trying to defend against Cashew. Cashew is very hungry for position, and now Cashew is looking for a way past Gibbons.
It's like a bunch of cannibalistic hyenas just waiting for the drop on the weakest member, quote unquote. Of course, all the drivers are strong. They just gotta exploit that one moment of vulnerability. Gotta get that killer instinct flowing through their blood, I guess.
And now, speaking of killer instincts there, Daniel Barger is looking to pounce on Kizuhara Leo. There, Leo has been has not been catching up to the top 3. Paresh, Shazan, and Fumi are pulling away, and now Daniel Barger is actually getting close to the Shion car. But meanwhile, let's talk about Kizuhara Leo's good performances so far. Currently in 4th place, and just fending off probably one of the better drivers in Formula Hololive, Daniel Barger. And looking at how Leo is able to pull away against Barger on the straights is just a good sight to see, because if I'm not mistaken, Barger has a higher downforce setup than Leo. That's why you can see here Barger is able to catch up to Leo in the corners, but kind of loses out on the straights, maybe.
Well, in that case, they're definitely gonna have to really rely on their corners. So, southern edge of the map, as per usual, and it seems Barger is getting really close to pouncing, about 2.5 tenths of a second away. It's really close, and we could be expecting a pounce anytime within the next 3 laps.
Speaking of pounces, look at Cashew against Callum Gibbons here. You can see here he tried to make a move around the inside of turn 12, but Gibbons managing a cleaner. Oh, you can see here someone's actually coming into the pits quite early, and it's Ethan Bertelsen.
Oh no, that is a bit too early for my liking. Pitting on lap 5, I believe, is not a very good idea, at least for me, because if you mess up your fuel, you're screwed.
And speaking of which, we have some drivers at the back trying something new, and as you can see, it's a quick splash for we have a quick splash for Ethan Bertelsen in the Ayame car, and same goes for Jeff Rohan and Ed Sky. They want some clean air actually, so that they could basically gain more time to the drivers at the back, because currently the drivers at the back are currently setting a lap time of a 1:22, 1:23, and the guys at the front, while they may be out of contention or battling at the front, they might still steal a few positions. And speaking of positions stolen here, you can see here that Barger has not yet to steal a position against Kizuhara Leo, and Leo is actually holding up Barger quite well.
It seems that my prediction was off, as they usually are. Oh well. But back to the strategy they're trying. They're at the back, they don't really have much to lose, which honestly I can somewhat kind of see where they're coming from with pitting so late. But we also have people within the mid ranks that are doing it, which is a little bit weird. They're really playing a very risky strategy.
A risky strategy for sure, but if they can ace it, they can really upset the field at the moment here. As you can see here, a lot of drivers are actually going for that quick splash here, and as you can see here, Liu is still there. He's still there, and you can see here Crystal Salaman has actually beaten a good amount of drivers, but has yet to beat Kento Kai. So there is a good amount of strategic calls here at the moment. A lot of strategy in and out of the track, and as you can see here, a lot of shuffling has happened. As you can see here, Shakir Reza is currently the last driver who have yet to pit. And speaking of battles here, here's Dan Evans. No, wait, it's Fabio Mendes and Danilo Goyena, because Mendes have been looking for an inside line against Goyena, but that hasn't appeared so far.
Mostly due to the pitting, however. but I'm still gonna pretend like they fought tooth and nail for this. Fabio Mendes has went from around like the 32nd to 23rd, which is very impressive.
And speaking of which, we now have the first of the front runners coming into the pits, Daniel Barger, and it looks to me Nakamura are also, she's also coming into the pits as well. There's going to be a lot of pit activity here. As you can see here, a lot of pit stops are happening. As you can see here, Barger is going for that quick stop. As you can see here, Michael Turner also going for that pit stop as well as Dan Evans and Muhammad Shakif Reza.
Okay, we have a lot of people running this strategy. I was expecting this to be kind of a one-off thing, but it seems a lot of people are seeing what the people in the back ranks are doing and deciding it might be a good idea, but they're trying something new, which is kind of entertaining to see.
And looking into current situations here, Kai is leading, while Barger is actually leading the guys who have yet to pit. As you can see here, Barger having a lot of the clean air. He's currently having a lot of pace advantages. As you can see here, Leo is still stuck behind Perez, Shazwan Reza, and Fumi. And speaking of drivers who are coming into the pits, here's Fumi and Perez.
The number one say-so idol, quote-unquote, in the giant oversized baby have entered the pits, which are the first, like, major ones, which are from because they're second and third, and Shazwan Reza seems very adamant on staying on the meta strategy, quote-unquote, the one that's the all reliable.
The all reliable, yes, but let's see if it pays off for them, because I fear that they might have to pit again, quote-unquote, but we're going to have to just pay attention to current situations here. And as you can see here, a lot of drivers coming into the pits. Reba, Miyuki, Mendes, Barg, and then you can see here Sinful, Perez, and you can see here Fumi is actually staying for quite a long time in the pits compared to everyone else. So this one might be the pit stop for those who want to just pit once, and for everyone else, they might have to pit again.
Is this the pit stop? Oh, I was about to mention the pit stop Grid Reaper. God damn it. Alright, anyway. It seems Fumi is going for the traditional, I believe this is an overcut. I always get my
undercut
strategies mixed up. Yep, there we go. I knew I probably got it wrong, but more importantly ever, Fumi is definitely in it for the long haul, trying to blitz, kind of do what they're doing, just a little bit more meta.
And right now, with a slightly longer pit stop, one could reckon that Fumi might actually want to go for a long run here. As you can see here, we have the remaining drivers who have yet to pit here. We have Leo, we have Golila and Cashew coming into the pits. Mazzy also coming into the pits as well. And I just wanted to check back on the drivers who have yet to pit. We're just going to check into pit stops. The only drivers who have yet to pit, Lorenzo Ricci, Sean Pauli, Mohamed Shazwan Reza. You can see here, Ricci has to be slightly stuck behind lap cars here. And as you can see here, Ricci is going to try his best to clear the lap cars of Riba and Co, who are looking to just do a one-stop strategy. And here we have the two cars leading this race, Mohamed Shazwan Reza and Sean Pauli. And right now, Shazwan Reza has the call to come into the pits.
It's kind of weird to see everyone kind of test out the new strategy. There's no real counters. It's all just pure racing skill and pure logistics. That's all there is in this race for the most part.
And currently, Sean Pauli is also going in for the long run. As you can see here, he is actually behind what looks to be the number 64 car of Callum Gibbons, but not for long, as Gibbons finally peels into pits. Here is Sean Pauli's helmet design, his own creation.
Very cool, very fresh. Created it in the Discord server, which you may or may not want to join. It is completely up to you.
So anyways, Lorenzo Ricci also coming into the pits, basically the second last driver to come into the pits. Shazwan Reza is still coming on to this racetrack, and while he is being called to come into the pits, he is not coming in at the moment. And you can see here, after the strategy here, before this, it was Fumi leading Perez and Leo against Barger. Now Barger is leading the entire field of all the drivers who have made pit stops.
Speaking of Fumi is really going to have to be dashing right now because Fumi is actively in 15th place with a 10-second gap that they have to slowly whittle away with. Oh, speaking of pits, Burleson is back in the pits for a second time, and Ricci and Polly are in the pits, so this is an interesting development. Yeah, a lot of people miscalculated their pit stops.
But I believe that for drivers like Fumi and Perez, I think they managed to ace the strategy call quite well. Because you can see here, they actually pitted for quite a long time. So that just means that they're really taking their time to filling their tank to its fullest brim. So we're seeing some alternating strategies between a good amount of drivers. And it looks to me that the drivers who have pitted quite early are not going to be the beneficiaries of what should be a good result of this race. As you can see here, there's going to be a lot of standing changes coming soon.
This is what I was really worried about, if they would end up accidentally quote unquote understaying their welcome in the pit zone.
And anyways, looking into the current order here, Shadrin Reza is really running low on fuel, and he is expected to come into the pit as soon as possible. And as you can see here, we do have mentioned the acing, how Shadrin Reza and his brother can ace the pit strategy sometimes. And right now, it looks to be the case, as now Shadrin Reza is the last official driver to come in for a set of fuel and tires.
The reason Shazrin Reza ended up waiting so long to pit, I believe, is because he needed to add up that gap. And right now, he has a 45-second gap, which is pretty freaking huge.
Is pretty huge, but we also...
He's gonna get out of the pits in like 6th place, and then he's gonna reclaim all his positions. That's the plan Shazrin Reza has.
And currently looking into Fumi, he has now got himself back into the top 10. He looks to have a good advantage here. As you can see, Shadrin Reza is still stationary inside the pit. He's basically taking his time to have his car serviced. And looking into Fumi, who's currently barreling down one of the back straights. You can see here Barger finally takes the lead against everyone else. He represents Mohamed Suisse. And now Shadrin Reza finally comes into the pits. Here we're going to be taking a look into Shadrin Reza versus Fumi, because it was a battle between them. And right now, Fumi is currently well at the back at the moment, and Shadrin Reza is currently barreling down the exits.
Mazif, Algar, Kai, and Salomon, and Furakama have miscalculated their fuel and now have to go back into the pits. Now I believe is a good time to pull up the biggest gainers and losers. Oh wait, never mind. Lu just entered the pits too.
Not yet at the moment. We're not going to be seeing the biggest gainers and losers just yet. And as you can see here, Shadrin Reza exits ahead of Ethan Bertelsen, who is currently down in 28th. So already, as we mentioned here, there's already lap cards into the mix. So basically, the race is not over yet. And now we have confirmation that Fumi has basically taken over 2nd place. But the gap between Shadrin and Fumi is basically 20 seconds.
Fumi wins by everyone miscalculating their fuel like a bunch of bozos. Oh my god, how many pit stops are we at for people?
Well, right now it's a bit undecided on how many people have miscalculated pit stop. We're going to be taking a look into pit stop counters around the next few laps. And as you can see here, a few drivers are coming out as well. We have some few drivers who are still leading this race, like for example Daniel Barger. Daniel Barger is currently trying to find a way past the lap car of Kaminari Riba. Will Barger make a dive on down the inside? Not yet, as Barger going for that very risky exit, and I don't think he's going to be gaining a lot of time. Actually, scratch that. He's going to pull up into the outside line to try to make a move. Wait for it, no, it's the inside. And he makes the pass.
Very, very clean exit there. Barger absolutely sweeping them off their feet, but not in the odd romantic way. I mean that in like the fighter kind of way, you know?
And speaking of which, Gento Kai makes the move against Zeke Wimberly for 16th place. We're going to be seeing if there are going to be any more drivers who will be coming into the pits. The drivers that we're going to be talking about for sure is Daniel Barger and Irene Nakamura. Now, both of these drivers have been in the middle of the top 10 especially for Daniel Barger, who was in 5th place, currently leading this race. And let's see if there's going to be a call for Nakamura to come into the pits. No, not yet. Nakamura and Barger are still good on field, but actually, look at Daniel Barger, who is now finally coming into the pits.
Again, for the second time, I think.
Yeah, he has miscalculated his fuel loads. He's now making his second pit stop, and he's definitely wasting a good amount of time here. And now you can see here Shazin Reza now coming into the main straight, gonna be laying waste on Daniel Barger, and Shazin Reza is looking to win his 3rd Formula Hololive race for Luna.
It would seem so. I think Nakamura has their fuel under control though for the most part, so they'll still have Nakamura to deal with, I think.
Yeah, good to note here. As you can see here, Shazin Reza steers clear of his fellow compatriot Farah Kamal. And you can see here, Barger have actually lost out to a lot of drivers here. Lost out to Leo, lost out to Cashew, and is looking to lose out to Sean Pauly, who I believe has gained a lot of positions here. We're just gonna get, okay, now I think it's a good time to show you the progress chart to see who have been the biggest gainers. Sean Pauly gains 4 positions, but that pales in comparison to Sean Goliath, who have gained 14. Same goes for Kaminari Riba, and Lorenzo Ricci gaining 12 positions.
Shout out to Nakamura for going from 13th place to 1st place.
And of course...
Also,
yeah.
oh my god, I jinxed it. I'm so sorry.
Well, it happens to all of us. So anyways, Nakamura coming into the pits as Reza looks to regain control in this race. The gap, however, had basically closed down to 18 seconds between Shazin Reza and Hofumi. And right now, this track is literally littered with lap cars against the leaders. So obviously, there's also going to be traffic management between for the leaders for them to deal with. And looking into one of the biggest gainers currently in the field, we're looking to see maybe Pauly. Actually, he had been gaining like 4 positions. He's looking to gain maybe 5 or 6.
And then there's like frickin' Galio, who gained like 13 positions, so shout out to Galio.
So looking into the current state of affairs, Shazin Reza leads this race with Fumi currently in 2nd, but right now he's losing a good amount of time. He's currently under pressure from lap cars. You can see here Fumi is currently stuck between a Toa Iroha sandwich.
They're just fighting each other is all. The samurai and the devil.
Oh, you can see here!
The
Fumi actually...
Traffic jam.
It was a bit of a traffic jam, but not just that. Look at Anita Perez! Perez is actually taking advantage of this mishap by Fumi, because Fumi was actually making contact with the 33rd place car of Jeff Rohan. He basically pushed Jeff Rohan out of the way, so basically because he was basically annoyed that he was being held up.
Well, I mean, the #1 say-so idol has places to be, so...
And we have confirmation, Jeff Rohan could not continue any further in this race after sustaining a massive amount of damage on his car. So that will be another retirement of this race. You can see here Fumi making contact with Jeff Rohan, and that also means he is actually losing a good amount of time to Shazin Reza. And also obviously, while Fumi thinks he has gained something, he has actually lost a good amount in the long run, as he has now lost a good amount of time against Shazrin.
Penalize this Fumi for disruption of the peace and unfair collision or something.
Well, looking into the replays here, there's gonna be a massive decision here. You can see here actually Ed Scott trying to outlap himself against Fumi, but Fumi has a faster car, and looking to me, and it looks to me that Fumi is able to steal a position. Well, at least in terms of steering clear of the lap car out of the way. And you can see here Gandiel Goyena and Takeda Adachi battling side by side there at the start of this lap. And now Goyena dives down the inside against the lapless car. basically the rabbit transformation project still continues on with Guyana currently in 22nd. Remember, this is the Guyana is currently the overall championship leader, has won the overall split championship as well as the split league championship. And if you remember what happened last race, it was very crazy.
And yet they're still not doing so well in the postseason. They don't even get to brag that they're destroying everyone in the postseason. That's not very good.
So I just wanted to check back on Fumi's crash with Jeff Rohan. So obviously it is a very messy thing to happen. You can see here Fumi, I believe. Oh yeah, it was kind of messy. But again, the Toa driver Jeff Rohan should know that there was a faster car in front, and he should have probably yielded against Fumi. But it's also a case of Fumi being impatient and actually just moving Rohan out of the way. So it's gonna be a very crazy judgmental call.
I think we should penalize both of them.
Well, penalizing both of them is one thing, but looking into the amount of time lost for Fumi, I think that should already be a penalty in itself. Because if you make a contact and you don't get away and you got away with it, you're gonna get a penalty. But Fumi made contact with Rohan and he lost a good amount of time. So obviously the gap was around 22 seconds, and after the collision with Rohan, the gap has now extended to 29 seconds, and that also meant that Perez was also in the mix as well. But now Perez is now stuck behind a lap car of Ed Sky, who is actually kind of stubborn to let that position go.
The baby car needs to go faster than baby pace if it wants to secure second place. I'm gonna be real.
And currently Sheldon Reza leads this race. He currently already has the record for most wins for a virtual YouTuber in the Adak-RMS organization. Sheldon Reza already accumulating 7 wins for Himamori Luna on points races, 8 points if you count invitational races. So Sheldon Reza is looking to cement his legacy as ARL's outright best driver in the field, and he currently leads the field of multiple cars. You can see here, he's currently stuck behind his fellow Shuba Luna car, Rim Olgor.
And that might prove to be a minor inconvenience in Shaz and Red's plans as they go side by side. Shuba Luna, except instead of being friends, they want to overtake each other competitively, and it seems Shaz and Red's does in fact have the better competitive spirit. TM.
Anyways, Kaczynski overtakes Duciem, and Tanara has the edge over Guyana. Kaczynski now has 19th place, and then Tanara now has 21st. So anyways, let's take a look back into the progress charts. Biggest gainers and losers. Sean Galile started 24th, now up to 7th place. Talk about a lot of gains here from Renato Aqua. And also looking at Sean Pauly, who is looking to do very well. You can see here Casio against Kitsuhara Leo there. There was a swapping of positions here. Casio against Leo is two spooky members here battling side by side. Who's going to be the winner?
I think it's Leo. Put my money on Leo.
And your money's being put into the right place there, Z. As you can see here, Cashew has been overtaken by Kizuhara Leo, who has been performing admirably for Shion. Obviously, great minds think alike. Kizuhara Leo is, of course, a Shioko, a proper Shioko to Murasaki Shion. And so that obviously translates well to his results. Now, if you want to talk about Leo's results in the ARO, he has won 2 races in 2022 in Hololive GT3 and has won this year for Murasaki Shion for the first time. Note that he was representing Akai Hato when he got his 2 wins last year. So to see him win for his Oshi has got to be one of the best sights to see. Obviously, the win was long coming, and it's been a very popular win for him.
Now, obviously, Leo couldn't do this without the premium male tiers that powered the car. That gives Murasaki Shion her powers. The powers harnessed from the energy and sadness of male tiers.
Sadness of male tiers, also, yeah. Talk about the brat that she is. Anyways, more battles between Antanara and Goyena. They just can't be separated here. Now Antanara has the edge over Goyena. As you can see here, Goyena have now lost a good amount of time, and now looks to be under pressure for Aziz Muazif. Side by side between the two, it was pretty dangerous and close, but Muazif couldn't pull off the move as he tries to look for alternate passing options.
Yeah, it seems they've kind of been at it for a while right now, and looking around, yeah, there's nothing really much going on. That was grammatically incorrect. Okay.
Anyways, Fumi currently in second place, trying to edge something against Mohammad Shazrin Reza. Looking into the timetable, Shazrin Reza have lost a good amount of time because he had been stuck under a lap car sandwich of Takeda Adachi and Rim Olgor, and that would mean that Fumi has been able to gain a good amount of positions. He was around 29 seconds back. He's now gaining 3 seconds.
Which, at this pace, wouldn't catch up. Would get really close, but they wouldn't catch up. They'd have to rely on Shazin Reza getting really messed up in like an accident, or just Shazin Reza really slowing down the pace.
And now Kaminari Riba messing up that exit in that final corner here, looking for a move against Kaczynski when there is none. Now Zeke Wimberly's looking for a chance against Riba, exiting turn 1. Now he's got that sweet draft, that sweet slipstream. The Wolf is about to pounce onto the Clown. And the Fennec Clown is currently under pressure from the Black Wolf, that is Okami Mio. And now Zeke Wimberly pounces on the chance, bites into 18th place. And that's a position gained.
Very few points were gained, but it is satisfying to pass people in the funny car.
In a funny car for real. And currently looking into the status of the other cars, Olgor and Adachi have been passed by Shazad Reza, and now Olgor is looking to pass Adachi, and Adachi tries to defend. And you can see here, with the supreme grip of these cars, they are able to basically glue themselves onto the racetrack. By that adhesion has been to an extent, as you can see here, Takeka Nakaboshi and Jeff Rohan retiring in this race. Sometimes it's not the problem of their own. Sometimes it's from external sources. But then again, it happens in motorsports. Anything can happen.
Yeah, almost anything anyway.
So anyways, let's take a look into Kizuhara Leo. He's currently stuck behind a lap car of Ed Sky. A lot of these drivers are stuck behind Ed Sky for quite some time. They haven't been faster than Ed. And now Kizuhara Leo trying to find a way past. Will he find a move around the outside? There is not going to be a switchback. And now Muhammad Cashew is going to try to dive down the inside of a mistake by Kizuhara Leo. And now we have the Vampire and the Brat battling side by side, coming into turns 9 and now into 10. Kizuhara Leo might just be able to defend, but who knows? Cashew might be able to go for a late corner dive. And as you can see here, Sean Pauli is also in the mix as well.
This is an absolutely desperate defense going on between Leo right now. It's really not looking that good. They got two very, very hungry cars just looking for some position, and Leo just kind of has to deal with that. And thankfully, he actually kind of did.
And speaking of battles,
Sean Pauli and Cashew currently fighting, but it seems Sean Pauli does have that slight edge. Domesticated version of the Neo car having a slight edge.
Anyways, Duciem and Antanarod battling out side by side here. Two cats, and it's going to be the domesticated cats' favor as Antanarod exits ahead of Duciem, managing to perform a good amount of defense. And now Sean Pauli, who is having a very amazing race up to this point. He has gained a good amount of positions here, as we mentioned. He started 11th. He has now jumped up to 5th place. Obviously, that it pales in comparison to Goliath, who have gained 15 positions. But again, a top 5 finish is nothing to scoff at.
True. And looking at back at the intervals, we have Fumi is slowly grinding that gap away. It was at like 26, 27 seconds now. It's at around 25.8, and for the most part, Farrakama and Berfelsen are fighting very high-speed corners right now, just trying, and Farrakama won.
Which is nice to know. We're just gonna go for a slight break here on lap 27 to promote something, just to be on standby for that. And you can see here Shadran Reza, who, as you mentioned, Z, he's currently stuck behind lap cars. Currently, he has Altazan Tanara and Kaminari Reba to deal with, and currently he's stuck behind a lap car sandwich. And compare that to Fumi, who only needs to deal with one car, and that's Muhammad Shakib Reza. It's gonna be a case of cat versus mouse.
Yeah, except I think the cat is blinded and the mouse has only one leg, which is so it's like watching. It's not good for both of them. I'm gonna be honest.
And you can see here Fumi's gonna try his luck against Antanara. Let's see if he can have a pretty decent exit here, and that's not going to be the case. He's gonna have to try again. Meanwhile, Shadran Reza is still stuck behind a lap car sandwich, or as you mentioned here, both the cat and mouse not in okay circumstances here. Shadran Reza stuck behind a lap car sandwich, and Fumi stuck behind Antanara, but it won't be for long. As you can see here, Fumi now steers clear of the Momosuzu Nene car, and now Fumi is gonna try to make a statement.
Fumi, being the spoiled #1 idol of Hololive, passes the lap car with grace and elegance, despite the fact that they probably won't catch up to Shazin Redza, so she'll have to settle with being the #2 idol.
And currently, as you can see here, Riba and Antanara battling side by side for position with Antanara's favor. And now you can see here the Kaminari Riba having a very poor exit there. That's gonna probably play into the hands of Shadran Reza, but that's not gonna be the case because the gaps are now closing between Shadran Reza and Fumi. Fumi, as you can see here, he's currently having a lot of clean air, and he's currently chipping on the gap Shadran Reza had.
Wowzers. Anyway, it is dissipating at a very alarming rate, and I would be very, very terrified at the moment.
If you are Muhammad Shadran Reza, you'll have every reason to be concerned, as now you can see Shadran Reza has finally steered clear of a lap car. There's still one more to go for Shadran, and so the gaps are not going to be closing down that crazily as it stands. But Fumi, his next lap car is only Michael Turner, Fabio Mendes, and Farrakama, and then he has to deal with a lot of these lap cars for him to properly mount a charge against Shadran.
It is a very large annoyance, and it's just an absolute arduous battle. But the more Fumi is actually like playing right now, actually believing in themselves to destroy that tyrant Shazid Redza from hogging all the wins in Holo GT3, they will be the one savior, the light, the sword of the people. Ho Fumi!
Okay, that is a nice announcement there, Z, which is probably something. Remember, Hofumi has had his glory days in the second half of the season. It has been at that point where Fumi could really show his mettle, and now Fumi currently actually gaining more time here. Now Shadran Reza is still stuck behind Antanara, but it won't be for long, as Shadran Reza is now steered clear of the Okayu car, and so both of them are going to be at a current stalemate here. So as we're currently in this halfway stage of this race, a bit of a plug here at the moment. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So here's a bit of a short break here. The Blue Journey First Live, Yoake no Uta, scheduled to take part at the Tokyo Garden Theater. As you can see here, the hashtag on the top right, Yoake no BJ Live, not that BJ. You can scan this QR code at the left of your screen if you want to gain access to the live stream, or if you want to buy tickets to the actual live. So obviously, just a bit of a plug here. We're just here to help promote the event and all that stuff. So if you have the money and you want to support these talents in Hololive, you may scan the QR code below.
And you have any extra money, please PayPal it to me.
Oh, ouch. So anyways, we have some more battles here between Olgor and Farah Kamal here. In Olgor's favor, he is currently jumped up into 26. So let's take a look into the guys at the back. Fabio Mendes, Michael Turner and all that stuff. Because the guys at the back also deserve some attention.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, at least on my screen, just letting you know. But more importantly, Albert, the people in the back do have their merits, despite the fact that they're kind of in the back at the moment. Like, especially people like Mendes that were in like the bottom, like 32 and jumped up like 5 places. That they do have merit in them. They're just having a rough day is all. They're just in a rough patch and they will overcome it. And the rain will bring flowers. Some other poetic stuff I learned in English class, you know?
Literature. So anyways, Fabio Mendes has been overtaken by Farah Kamal there, and obviously looking into current situations here at the moment, you can see here more side-by-side battles between Daniel Barger and Irie Nakamura. Both of these drivers were at the front, but especially for Irie, as Irie actually was in the just below around the bottom fringes of the top 10, and Daniel Barger was in the top 5. And now you can see both of them battling side by side for first position. And as you can see here, we have the Hajama car against the Suisse car, and now we have Daniel Barger trying to find a way against the Marine ride currently driven by Ricci for him to pounce himself into the top 10.
Barger is really in a rock and a hard place at the moment. Kind of in a sandwich where they have to be both defending and attacking at the same time. It's just a rough ride.
And speaking of rough rides,
speaking of rough rides, Wimberley is about to be in a rough ride right now. Just a battle right now. Zellman showing no mercy whatsoever for the wolf. The wolf is ironically the prey to the human.
Not exactly a demon, as it is a demon in GeoGuessr, as the ASCII ride should be known for pinpoint accuracy in terms of at least overtakes in this race. So anyways, Mama Cashew is actually looking for a chance to attack against the fellow orange car of Sean Pauly. As you can see here, Cashew gets very close there. If he can have a very good exit off this turn 3 coming into turn 4, Cashew might just have a fighting chance, but I think he might just be a bit too far.
That's a 0.5, there's no way. They'll have to get at least like a 0.3 in either for a chance of looking for an opening right now. For now, I just hover around Pauly for a bit.
And looking into the current situations here, Fumi is in second place, 22 seconds behind Shadreza. Both of them are going through some clean air, but Fumi has another gauntlet that he needs to face. 5 lap cars in front of him is gonna put a massive dent in his hopes of winning this race. But given his circumstances here at the moment, he'll need to get a lot of points as much as possible. Because if you know Fumi's season up to this point, he's currently sitting 29th in the overall standings and is looking to at least score a massive amount of points in the second half of the season for him to have a chance at the postseason championship and at least pull one back, at least pull a few strings back in the overall standings.
If anything, winning the postseason is more prestigious than winning the actual season, because the postseason you get to brag more, which is really cool.
Well, basically because you're fighting against 35 cars, but then of course you also have to perform throughout the entire season. So obviously the overall championship is in everyone's mind. Speaking of which, Salomon has been overtaken by Kaczynski. Well, Salomon was trying to overtake Kaczynski, but it hadn't got to plan at the moment. But Salomon is actually looking for an opportunity. Speaking of opportunities here, Barger is looking for a chance to look against Lorenzo Ricci here. Barger is looking for a dive bomb against Ed Sky for him to finally steer clear of the lap car. Lap cars obviously playing a huge role in this race. And now with Fumi being stuck behind lap cars, Southern is able to breathe easy.
Oh yeah, this is where Fumi racks up a bunch of time against Jackson Red, because despite being the people's champion, and in books the protagonist never fails, this is kind of one of the sad books written in the 1950s where the antagonist wins.
So anyways, another battle between Rim Olgor and what should be Michael Turner here. There's a massive battle between them, and that might just play in Fumi's as an advantage. Maybe, just maybe, for him to maybe lose less time than Shadon Reza did when he was stuck behind lap traffic. It was at 29 seconds, and now currently it's at 24. But it may be bigger as Fumi is still stuck behind these lap cars.
Yeah, those lap. For the most part, Fumi has no chance of catching up. As realistically speaking, they'd have to clear like at least a second of time to approach Redza kind of head on, which, as we know, wouldn't really happen, especially with all the lap traffic. So it's gonna be a very hard-fought battle, but a defeat.
And speaking of Shadon Reza, he's currently on a pretty hard place at the moment as well, as you can see here. But before that, we need to take a look into Mazzy doing a very good performance there for Tsunamaki Watame. And for Crystal Salomon, he's going to try to steer clear of Raji Kaczynski. Now we have reports that both Shadon Reza and Hofumi are stuck behind loud traffic. Salomon tries to find a move against Kaczynski, but Kaczynski manages to defend well on the inside line. And looking into Hofumi, Fumi has actually have yet to clear Michael Turner and Takeda Adachi. And you can see here Rim Olgor against Putri Farah Kamal. There's a battle for position here. Sure, it may be at the bottom fringes of the standings here, but it's still a battle for position nonetheless. And as you can see here, Shadon Reza and Fumi, both of them are currently stuck behind lap cars. Who's gonna be winning this game of chicken?
Shadon Reza, I think.
No hesitation. So anyways, looking into some other battles here at the back. Sean Pauli tries to clear Dan Evans. Obviously, a bit of a story behind Sean Pauli. I think he's been overtaken by Sean Goliath. And because look at the progress of Sean Goliath, yes, he has gained positions. So obviously, Goliath is really quote-unquote flexing his muscles. Well, he does have it, but not at a massive amount. So anyways, Kashi is also looking for a way past Kisahara Leo, who's currently inside the top 4. So there's still a lot of battles to play for coming into the second half of this race.
Let's see if David Goliath can take even more positions, as I can see him rapidly approaching, well, not rapidly approaching, but inching their way towards Muhammad Kashi.
And looking into some battles here, you can see here Sean Pauli and Callum Gibbons trading blows. You can see here Pauli tried to dive down the inside of the final corner and had not gone to plan for the Roboco driver. Johan Sinful exits the final corner here to try to mount a challenge against Gibbons. A bit of a story on Callum Gibbons there. He is currently one of the best drivers in the ARO up to this point, at least for this season. He has been pretty impeccable up to this point. First driver to reach 2 wins in a row in Hololive GT3, wins Hololive GT3 in near dominating fashion, and had things gone Gibbo's way in the Split B Championship, he could be actually sweeping both the split and overall split titles in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive. But for now, Cal Gibbons is currently content kind of in 8th place, but it won't be for long as Sinful tries to make the dive bomb down the inside from almost out of nowhere to, oh, you can see here, Sinful hopping onto the curves very aggressively, and now he'll try it again in what should be turns 8. Okay, he's a bit too far. But again, a commendable move for Sinful to try to steal position away from Gibbons.
That was very ambitious for what it was. That came out of nowhere. I'm very proud of Johan Sinful for that ballsy move.
Now Sinful, very excited to represent Matsuri. He has already had a win in Hololive GT3 at Motegi on the same track that his predecessor Dan Powell won. It's got to be pretty poetic to see the basically the how do we say this, the spiritual successor to previous drivers from Matsuri, Bon Air and Dan Powell, actually showing a lot of promise for what should be a cheerful young girl that is Matsuri, who's also pretty dangerous, come to think of it.
And also pretty bratty, running on slightly less potent male tiers.
So anyways, we could be seeing some side-by-side battles. Oh, we're go seeing 3 wide! It can't go well if it is in the top.
Crazy.
Slideshow, just wanted to check back. Oh! Apologies here for Apologies for the slight drop in frame rates here. I think the drop frame rate issue I think is I think pretty okay. Apologies for the slight apologies for the slight skip. As you probably have noted here, there was some 3 wide battles here. Fortunately, there has been no contact between each of these drivers, and as you can see here, how do we say this? You can see here there was a 3 wide battle coming into turn 4 between Dan Evans, Callan Gibbons, and Sean Pauly. But now we could be seeing another battle brewing side by side. Here's a massive battle for what should be 7th place, and now you can see here Richie Barger, Nakamura.
Another PowerPoint presentation. Holy crap!
Hang on, pause.
Your frames dropping are crazy.
Okay, apologies for the slightly dropped frames. We'll have to pause this race just a bit just to check on current internet situations. I think we fixed. I think we have. Okay, we have fixed the internet issue slightly. No drop frames as it stands. The battle continues. And now you can see here's a lot of side-by-side battles between Nakamura and Barger. And now with Richie and Sinful battling side-by-side. And as you can see, a lot of jostling for position here. Nakamura now edges ahead of Daniel Barger on her Formula Hololive debut. And now looking into Barger, he might just be able to mount a challenge to defend, and he is able to do so. And not just that, he might be able to steal position from Richie.
Hold on, I was over-exaggerating that. Yeah, Richie is definitely trying to fight tooth and claw for that position right there, thinking it's rightfully his. But Barger will not let go of it without a fight. In a fight they are trying to give them, but it's just not enough, and Barger fades into the 11th place spot.
So, and then looking into the current race conditions here and looking into my internet as well, the battle is currently between a lot of drivers, and looking into some recent kerfuffles here, you can see here Fumi has actually pulled up a lot of positions against Shadowed Reza. As you can see here, there's a lot of lap cars, and he's been stuck behind Zeke Wimberly for quite a while now, like I think 3 to 4 laps, and now Fumi is relishing on this chance.
We're back to slideshow. Okay, we're back to the PowerPoint. Oh, are we back? Okay. I couldn't take in what everything you said because it was kind of lagging. I'm sorry.
Apologies here. Just want to remind you that currently Shadreza hasn't been able to overtake Zeke Wimberly for quite some time. As you can see here, there's a lap car train that he has to deal with, and Fumi has a bit of clean air to deal with. And right now, the one of the few drivers that is between Shadreza and the rest of the field is currently Alderson Tanneral, Kaminari Riba, Maverick Duciem, Wazif, Goyena Bertelsen. And so basically, Fumi might just be able to steal some lap times away from Shadrin Reza. As you can see, Shadrin Reza still struggling to overtake Zeke Wimberly. Zeke Wimberly is providing Shadrin Reza a lot of headaches.
This is the power of working in the background, because as you can see, even the back rank people do have their merits, like annoying the crap out of the people in the front lines.
And currently Fumi is still stealing a lot of these chances, a lot of these lap times. Shadrin Reza is looking for every chance in the book possible. As you can see here, the tires are definitely waning away. As you can see here, the tires are absolutely worn on the front right. And as you can see here, it's a very front right heavy track. And of course, it also messes up your wheels as well, but that's pretty much expected up to this point. So anyways, Shadrin Reza still stuck behind a lot of lap cars. Fumi only needs to deal with Bertelsen, Goyena, Muazif, Duciem, and Kamin Riba, and Antanarao. And if Fumi is able to do so, he's gonna be able to be in a whisker. We're gonna pause a bit. We're going, we're going to pause a bit because we are currently experiencing serious amounts of drop frames. Okay, we're back.
We're back for, I think this is the 3rd or 4th time here on this beautiful track. And on this beautiful track is a battle happening between Kaczynski and Selmanman that was over pretty quickly, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we're kind of out of... No, we're not. Okay. Back to you.
So anyways, we're looking to some crazy battles here between Sinful and what should be Ricci here for the 10th spot. And as you can see here, Barger is actually up to 9th and now looking for a chance against Callum Gibbons. Fellow Gen 0 battle here between Barger and Gibbons. And now Barger, actually that's not Callum Gibbons, we apologize for that. That's actually Dan Evans, the lap car. And now you can see Callum Gibbons actually getting pretty close there to Sean Pauly for the battle for 7th place. Let's see how this goes.
Looking into the timetables, the intervals, etc., etc., Gibbons is getting alarmingly close. Should be able to make a dive bomb real soon. At this rate. Looking at, speaking of dive bombs, I believe Kai is definitely planning something in the works that is currently a 3.3 second gap. So we got a lot of plans in the works, a lot of schemes, a little bit of deviousness.
And speaking of deviousness, currently Fumi is currently stuck behind lap cars himself as we speak. Shadrin Reza is still stuck behind Zeke Wimberly. Talk about a lot of nuisances currently at the moment. And meanwhile, there's a battle between Gibbons and Barger once again. Gibbons manages to actually steal one back against Barger as Gibbons gets back to 8th place.
Gibbons finally reclaiming, or was that a reclaim? I'm so delirious right now. It is so late. Okay. Anyway, I'm so freaking giggly.
Okay, just wanted to give you a bit of an update. Gibbons have reclaimed 8th place after a good amount of battling against Barger here, and now we can see that Hofumi might just find an opportunity to get past Ethan Bertelsen, but Bertelsen pushes Fumi off into the sausage curb, and that is gonna hamper his chances. Shadrin Reza is, of course, still stuck behind Zeke Wimberly. Shadrin doesn't have the grip that he had, and he's not really wanting to tempt fate. And currently, we're at 15 laps to go, and anything can happen.
15 laps, 15 seconds, and a dream, baby. Fumi still might be in it. I'm not sure whether they can get through all of that lap traffic or not, but if they can, this is going to be the greatest comeback ever since the hit book David and Goliath.
Yeah, anyways, looking into Kai and Ricci side by side once again. You mentioned about Kento Kai getting very feisty in the Aki Rosatol car. Now,
back on PowerPoint.
Okay, apologies. I just want to check back. We haven't had we haven't had drop frames. Okay, we should be okay. So anyway, side-by-side battle here between Kento Kai and Lorenzo Ricci. Now going absolutely horrible for him, as now he's under pressure for Nakamura. Nakamura coming down the inside line against Kento Kai. Down the inside. Will there be something to see for Nakamura? And now, yes, there is, as Nakamura jumps up to 12th place. But Kento Kai isn't going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, I was secretly hoping Nakamura would do a double take though. That would be so cool in my opinion.
But
for now, Kai is definitely trying to reclaim their former spot right now, and they're definitely not going down without a fight. In a fight they gave Nakamura going back down to 13th. And speaking of going down places, Sean Pauly going down to 8th place. Gibbons slowly rising up the ranks.
So obviously Gibbons currently up into 7th place with a good overtake against Sean Pauly to the tight and twisty section of this racetrack. Now looking at Sinful trying to make a move against Barger. He might be close. There might be contact. There is a bit of an air moment for Johan Sinful. But right now, it's currently Daniel Barger's 9th place. And as we can see here, just wanted to check back on current situations here. Fumi has looking to clear Ethan Bertelsen. A bit of a slipping and sliding there for the Vietnamese driver. But crucially, Chandraza has cleared Zeke Wimberly, but still has a few lap cars to deal with.
And I do notice the effects of them clearing that pesky wolf. Fumi's time has shot up, interval has shot up a ton, almost going back down to 16 seconds, which is a big yikes.
A big yikes if you are Hofumi trying to challenge for the race win here. But remember, we still have a lot of this race to go. 13 laps to go here in this Buriram Super Prix. Right now...
Dang, did we get a full lockout?
Okay, right now, we're gonna need to... Okay, we've stopped the drop frames. Okay, apologies. Okay, so apologies to again for the internet issues here. As you can see here, Fumi finally steers clear of Danilo Goyena, and now he has Aziz Muaziv and Maverick Ducian to deal with. But now Goyena might just be able to give a bit of nuisance deals to Fumi. But can Fumi hang it around the outside? The answer might just be yes. And it's not going to be this case for Fumi, as he is still stuck behind the lap car of Goyena.
I wonder if Goyena... No, Goyena isn't on their buddy arc anymore. They lost Antonari. Antonari went places, Goyena stayed the same.
Anyways, looking at Fumi, trying to make a move down the inside. Another hop onto the curbs. Another messy exit there. But I think he's getting way closer there to Goyena. He might just be able to make a slight dive bomb down the inside of turn 1. The answer is a yes. But that actually isn't going to backfire extremely. And now look at Bertelsen trying to unlap himself.
Yeah, they're trying so hard. It's probably in vain, but it's the thought that counts.
And right now, he's going to try it again against Goyena. And right now, it's a battle of ones between these two drivers. And now you can see no drop frames at the moment, thank goodness. So anyways, Fumi coming across the exit of turn 4. Will he make a dive bomb at turn 5? The answer is going to be no. And now he's actually going to be under pressure again from Bertelsen. Shahid Reza might just be able to laugh his way all the way to bank. That is the race win.
Probably. There's, with Fumi kind of stuck in lap traffic and with an 18, almost 19 second interval, I think Shazrin is perfectly A-okay. But who's not A-okay right now is probably Leo, seeing as Cashew is trying really hard to find an opening.
And speaking of opening, remember, he might just be able to... He's not close enough. As you can see here, these two drivers battling inside the top 4. The battle for 4th. Hang on, just wanted to check. Oh, hang on. Apologies again, once again. Okay. I think this is as bad as Australian Wi-Fi. But anyways, we're back here. Apologies. Check. Okay. So, are we good? Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. So, again, sorry for the slight issue. Yeah, okay. Sorry for the slight issue with the internet. Again, we finally got ourselves access to 5G internet. Finally. So, we're gonna go back into the current situation here at the moment. Apologies, we've seen some cuts. So, anyways, Leo and Casio battling side by side. And now, they're actually... If you want to know what's currently happening, Kizar Leo has Jeff Rohan actually continuing on in this race. He may have had some issues with Fumi, but he's at least back in this race.
And he's only down 60 seconds, I think, which isn't too bad, I guess.
Against 33rd place Ed Sky.
He's good.
So anyways, looking to...
He's not doing too bad.
Yeah, doing pretty decently there. The Jeff Rohan, at least in his debut. Not much to expect for some of these drivers. So anyways, looking into Mohamed Cashew and some other drivers like Kizuhara Leo. They're still battling for position here. We are now currently at 10 laps to go in this Buriram Super Prix race. And right now, looking into current situations here, Shadreza is still stuck behind lap cars, and this time he's stuck behind Crystal Salomon. And Hofumi only has 2 lap cars to deal with. If Fumi can clear these last 2 cars, he might just have some fighting chance.
Very little, but he has some.
If only he can have a very good exit off of turn 3. As you can see here, Leo and Cashew battling side by side once again, but Cashew isn't really close enough into the gap. Well, not really close enough against Kizuhara Leo, but looking into Fumi. Fumi has not been finding chances just yet. As you can see, he's still stuck behind Danilo Goyena. And sorry, he's already passed Goyena. He's still stuck behind Aziz Moazif and Maverick Duciem. And right now, looking into current situations here, Cashew is now doing a very good exit off of turn 3. Let's see if Cashew can make a move down into turn 4.
I hope so, kind of. It is, however, might be a bit too big of a gap, and it's only widening at the moment, so I don't think Cashew does have what it's in them to make a move at this current moment, so we're gonna have to keep our eye on that.
John Bolly stuck behind the lap car of Ri Liu. Ri Liu, of course, down in 31st place, not really showing a lot of promise here. Meanwhile, we also want to take a look. Shakib Reza currently in 30th place, Mendes 29th, Olgor 28th, Farah Kamal is in 27th, Michael Turner is in 26th. They are currently in this massive train, and currently that train has no leaders basically taking over. And as you can see here, Shakib and Reza have already steered clear of some drivers and actually pulling away against Fumi. And speaking of which, Fumi has now finally cleared Aziz Moazif, but will it be too late? Will it be in vain? Because you can see here, Moazif tries to force his way into Fumi, and speaking of which, Fumi tries to clear Duciem, and he's able to do so. It's game on.
Fumi is definitely very, very impatient, taking what they want, when they want, no exceptions. Girl boss attitude, I think, or guy boss. I forgot your pronouns.
Anyways, Moazif and Duciem battling side by side just as Duciem was trying to clear Fumi, and now Duciem is looking to be in a good position to defend against Moazif. Moazif hanging around in 21st place, manages to defend actually. And you can see here some 3-wide action between Goyena and Bertelsen. The battle between the IMA and Pecora cars at the back is shaping up to be a spicy one. Bertelsen had not having the best exit of turn 1. That will mean Goyena hangs it around in 23rd.
Yeah, Goyena has stayed in 23rd since forever ago. However, Goyena is looking to launch an attack very soon with their very small interval. They just gotta wait for that perfect opportunity. And speaking of that perfect opportunity, Cashew just might have a very good opportunity to potentially pounce on their long race rival, Leo.
And currently Cashew is in this 5th place position. That 5th place position might just be oh so important for some drivers here, particularly at the back. But for Cashew, it might not be enough. As you can see here, Cashew tries to find a way past Leo. He's still too far back. But meanwhile, Lorenzo Ricci and Daniel Barger are side by side. The two basically podium sitters in the Hololive Mario Kart New Year's Cup entrance, now battling side by side as Barger manages to defend 10th.
For now anyway. Ricci is still coming for them, but you know who is coming for Ricci? None other than Kento Kai, with currently at about a 0.35 interval. They are definitely scheming something, but I'm not sure what.
Meanwhile, looking into Kaczynski, looking to find a chance against Hanari Miyuki, and now you have a confirmation that actually Shongo Lyle is actually breathing down on Cashew's neck. As you can see here, while Cashew was aggressively fighting against Kizuhara Leo, the tires just hadn't accrued to Cashew as he's used up too much of them, and now Lyle is continuing his amazing comeback from 22nd.
Go Lyle! Go Lyle!
Anyways,
Shongo Lyle really trying to get that position, and Cashew is also trying to get a position, so we are in a little bit of a triangle of just conflict at the moment, and it's just kind of all sucking for everyone except Lyle, I think.
And you can see here Kizuhara Leo is now stuck behind a devil quote-unquote pretender, the representative Jeff Rohan. And you can see here Kizuhara Leo trying to find a way past Jeff. Leo tries for an aggressive dive bomb, but it's not going to be enough. Cashew's looking for a chance. He makes a dive bomb down the inside for 4th place. And now it's a matter of if Leo's able to defend. And speaking of defenses, Cashew might even have to think about defenses himself. Look at Goliath.
Hope he's spec'd in hybrid. Anyway, everyone is really close to each other, and it's kind of making everyone uncomfortable. But the person that's getting really close is Goliath at the moment, which I believe is set up at the 0.2, 0.3 interval right now, just waiting for that perfect opportunity to strike.
John Goliath looking for a chance, an opportunity against Muhammad Cashew, but also let's also not forget that Callum Gibbons have now put himself back into the mix. He jumps down the inside against Sean Goliath, and as you can see here, Gibbons with a pretty decent exit there, but he doesn't have the inside line. He's still side by side with Goliath. Can Goliath defend? He might just be able to. He has his nose ahead. He into turn 4. Goliath hanging around the inside, pushes Gibbons slightly off wide, and Goliath manages to defend.
And with that, I think Goliath was trying to use a little bit of that momentum to regain some of the time that they lost trying to defend from Gibbons.
And speaking of which, Kokozinski and Salaman trading blows, with Shaolin Reza now disrupting the battle for 16th place. He now has Hanari Miyuki in 15th place. If it was a regular season, Miyuki will have the last points position. But of course, this is the postseason, the alternate postseason, the updated postseason. Shaolin Reza is about to be disrupted by Salman once again. It's not the first time Shaolin Reza has been disrupted by Salman in this season, in this racing season in the Aero. Meanwhile, there's more battles between Sinful and Barger. Sinful manages to defend 9th place from Barger. Meanwhile, Ricci is looking for way past Barger, diving down the inside. The answer is going to be no for an overtake against Barger there, Lorenzo Ricci, and now Kento Khan is going to be in the mix.
Everyone is just kind of dogpiling on everyone. It's just, if you try to attack someone, someone's going to attack you. It's all just like a giant, just volcano of rage and destruction and anger.
So much reactionary movements here at the moment. So much movements here on this racetrack here. There has been a lot of overtakes and a lot of action, a lot of fast action, if you want to call them that. We're currently at around maybe about a few laps to go. We are around maybe around over 3.5 laps to go here in Buriram. And now Shaolin Reza, having cleared Hanari Miyuki, Shaolin Reza might just be able to clear the last obstacle for his 3rd win in Formula Hololive Japan.
Yippee! Oh god, I'm checking. Hold on. Alright, yippee! It would be a shame if Fumi blitzed 15 seconds within 6 minutes.
Anyways, looking into the battles here between Goliath and Cashew, it was 2 wide, now it's 3 wide. Look at Callum Gibbons finding a way past Cashew, who had a stranglehold on 5th place that has now been disrupted. And now look at Callum Gibbons trying to go for a double overtake move. Oh, let's see if Gibbons can have a very good exit off of turn 3 coming into turn 4. Gibbons currently trying for an overtaking chance. We're now coming in at 2.5 laps to go. Gibbons finally might just be able to make a double overtake. Gibbons making a statement move in this race. A double overtake for Callum Gibbons, fighting tooth and nail. Oh, there's been a lot of curb riding, a lot of bumping. He was up in the air for quite a while, but it's all worth it now as Gibbons currently jumps out to 5th.
This might upset a couple of people, but I don't care. That was really cool to watch. Gibbons with the double overtake, which I've been looking forward to all race, because this track is perfect for double overtakes in my personal.
Especially with drivers just bunching out, trying to manage their tires, trying to manage their pace. Shaolin Reza only needs 1.5 lap of Buriram to go to seal 3 wins in the Formula Hololive Japan season. Muhammad Shaolin Reza has a bit of a bump on his first and fourth races, DNFing in both of them, finishing in last place for both of them. He had a rebound in rounds 2 and 3, where he has won consecutively at Autopolis on Tokachi. If the trends are to go, he might just be able to win this round, the Buriram Super Prix, and the next round, which is the Suzuka Grand Prix, which will be held in October. Now, Shadin Reza coming across this with the back straight for the final time. He's currently the dominant car to beat.
But the dominant car that won't be beaten, there is no way that Fumi can blitz all of this in 2 laps.
If Shadin Reza doesn't make a mistake, that is. And right now, Shadin Reza is currently having this race under control. He has had his mishaps. He's still looking for success in the Hololive GT3, at least to the extent of race wins, that is. He has yet to win for him and Mori Luna in Hololive GT3. We know it Wimberley overtakes fellow Gamers member Antana Rao. But for Shadin Reza, it is going to go 3 out of 5 in Formula Hololive Japan. Well, at least in terms of split A, but for overall races, it's going to be 3 out of 9 as Shadin Reza comes across the final set of corners representing the baby, or princess, Himemori Luna. Well, it said that cute is justice, and Shadin Reza is doing that statement a lot of justice. Shadin Reza comes across the final corner to win here in Buriram. Wait, looks to me that... Oh, wait. Did I just mess up the counter?
Yep.
Well, apologies here. I forgot to mention that this is actually the final lap. I thought the previous lap was the final lap. Anyways, a bit of a mess up there. Sorry about that. So anyways, we still have a few of these races to go. Like we've mentioned here, first race, race 1, Shadin Reza DNF. Race 2 and 3, he won. Race 4, he DNF. So we should expect that he will be winning races 5 and 6 and retire on race 7.
Yay! Oh, wait, is that yay or no? Hold on.
You said yay.
Yeah, but am I supposed to go yay or am I supposed to go no?
But then again, it's basically if he doesn't finish, if he doesn't win, he crashes. So basically, it's a bit of an up and down moment for him. So anyways, we're gonna try this again. Coming across the final 2 corners, he's gonna make a statement for himself. As we said earlier, cute is justice, and he's doing that statement a lot of justice as he's currently jostling with Dan Evans. Coming across the final corner, he has not said not many foot wrong in this race. Shadin Reza comes across the start-finish line to properly win the Buriram Super Prix. That's race over for Shadin Reza, as we're gonna go to a slight interval to try to fix some certain issues. So yeah.
I wonder how bad it feels to lose to a spoiled princess child.
So we have Fumi looking to confirm his spot in 2nd place.
Just curious.
Very good race for him. And meanwhile for Anita Perez, 3rd place for the elite baby that is currently being represented by Anita Perez. Good stuff from him. Meanwhile, we have Kamina Reba finishing being the first driver to finish a lap down. And looking into Moazi, Ducien, Bertelsen, and Goyena. And then for Kizuhara Leo, welcome back to the Murasaki Shion ride for Leo after Shilagi's takeover in the first half of the season. Kizuhara Leo brings the Shion car up to snuff. Leo finishes 4th, and for Callum Gibbons, he does very well to come back into 5th. Goliath finishes 6th, Holy 7, Cashew 8, Sinful 9. Barger, after having a lot of promise, finishes inside the top 10.
At least they got top 10. They didn't get completely robbed.
So Kento Kai finishes 11, Nakamura 12, Rishi 3rd, Mazzy 4th, Salaman, Kaczynski, and Tenara, Miyuki, and Wimberley are looking to be the last drivers to cross the finish line. So Z, as we mentioned, Sean Galao should steal your attention.
Yeah, Sean Galao did really good. Jumped up, I think, around 15, 16 positions. Just did absolutely amazing in that race. I wish I was as good as of a driver as he was. At least I didn't crash. But Sean Galao, the GOAT Galao.
So, yeah. Yes, good to know, Zim. So let's take... Yeah, good to know. So anyways, let's take a look back into the results here in this race. Shadariza takes his third win in Formula Hololive in nearly commanding fashion against Hofumi, who I think deserved the win, but had things go Fumi's way, he could have won this race throughout. Anita Perez scores her first podium in Formula Hololive Japan in her debut representing Sakura Miko. She did very well to finish third for the Elite Baby. Kizuhara Leo fourth for Murasaki Shion, again a very good result. Callum Gibbons, a late race resurgence for him, he finishes fifth. Sean Goliath sixth. Sean Pauli seventh, and with Muhammad Cashew in eighth, Johan Sinful ninth, and Daniel Bogger running out the top 10. Kento Kai is in 11th with Irene Nakamura 12th, Lorenzo Ricci 13th, Aaron Mazzi in his time for Osunamaki Watami, he finishes 14th. Kursa Solomon rounds out the top 15 spots with Raji Kaczynski 16th, and Tanara 17th, Miyuki 18th, Wimberly 19th, and Reba in 20th. And looking into 21st, Aziz Mwazif, Maverick Duciem, Ethan Bertelsen, Daniel Goyenda, Michael Turner running out 21st and 25th. Farah Kamal in her Formula Hololive debut for Lamy. It didn't go to plan, but at least it's something. Olgor 27, Adachi 28th, Mendes 29th, and Shakir Reza running out 30th place. Leo 31st, Ed Sky 32nd. Dan Evans rounds out the last of the drivers who have been finishing inside the points, but not before we go to Jeff Rohan, who had been in contact with Fumi. He manages to continue, albeit a few laps down. Keiko Takaboshi remains the sole DNFer of this race. Let's take a look onto how Takaboshi DNF'd.
Oh boy, this is gonna be wild.
Wild indeed, because Keiko Takaboshi started 20th in that race. Let's see how messy it got. So we're just gonna wait until the replay is properly saved. This is to ensure that we can have the shot for future references. And anyways, here we have officially saved the replay. So let's just take a look into what happened to Takaboshi. So here is the race replay. We're just gonna need to go back into here. Okay, let's take a look into Takaboshi. Let's see what happens.
Takaboshi currently barreling down the straight. Oh, this is not a good angle for me to view. Oh, I can't commentate like this.
Oh, there was contact.
Yeah, and I think they contacted and then spun into the wall.
So not exactly spun into the wall, but there was a good amount of damage onto the suspension to warrant a DNF for Takaboshi. So let's take a look back into what happened to her.
It was the angle for me. I can't tell with the angle.
Okay, let's take a look back into the rear end onboard, because I believe there has been some rear end contact. Oh, it's Sean Goliath. Got turned by Sean Goliath, and that's a good amount of damage to the rear suspension for Takaboshi. A bit of a big F for Takaboshi in and starting for Shiranui Flare for the first time. Let's take a look at the Goliath's onboard. Oh, a bit messy there.
Okay. Yeah, that just effortlessly put them in their place for the most part.
So with that out of the way, we can now finally know what happened to Keiko Takaboshi on why she DNF'd. It was a contact between Goliath on lap 1. One could argue that it could just be a case of lap 1 shenanigans with everyone being bunched up. So let's take a look into the the postseason standings. We're going to be sharing you the postseason standings first before we're going to be showing you the overall standings. The overall standings will be shown in full in the what should be the Adak-RMS Twitter or X account. So anyways, let's take a look into the championship standings to see what we're going to be taking a look in. So Fumi currently sitting second place against Muhammad Shahid Reza, who now takes the championship lead coming into the Suzuka Grand Prix next month. Anita Perez third, Kizahara Leo fourth, Callum Gibbons fifth. I'll let you guys read out the point standings here. You can see Sean Galal and Sean Polity, two Seans in 6th and 7th. And then we have Cashew, Sinful, and Barger running out the top 10 of the standings. Kento Kai, Ari Nakamura, Lorenzo Ricci, Aaron Massey, Crystal Solomon in fifth, from 11th to 15th. And then coming into 16th to 20th, we have Kaczynski and Tenarao, Miyuki, Wimberley, and Riba. In 21st to 25th, Aziz Mwaziz, Maverick Duciem, Ethan Bertelsen, Daniel Goyena, and Michael Turner rounding out the first 25 positions. Sorry, 21st and 25th. 26th to 30th, Farah Kamal, Olgor, Adachi, Mendes, and Shakib Reza. Obviously, Shakib Reza finishes 30th, so he has the final points. And then we have a few drivers who have yet to score points. Ree Liu, Jeff Rohan, Keiko Takaboshi, Dan Evans, and Ed Sky. So now with that out of the way, before we end this stream, let's do one last plug. We had the Blue Journey first live. Joaquin Ota they'll be scheduled to perform, like we mentioned, Tokyo Garden Theater, with the very suspicious hashtag to use on September 13th. Get your tickets.
Get your own BJ ticket. Get your own BJ ticket.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Z. So anyways, QR code's in the left side of your screen if you want to access the live. If you want to tune into the concert, either physical or through live streams, there's a QR code for you to scan for you to get into you purchasing the tickets. So hopefully everyone has enjoyed this race. I'm Muhammad Shahid Reza, alongside me is Zeke Wimberley, and you've been watching round 5 of the Formula Hololive Japan season, the Buriram Grand Prix. So sorry, the Buriram Super Prix. So yeah.